month. Reviewing this has now become the biggest waste of my week there is. Welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis. It's a review She-Hulk episode 7, if you want to call this an episode. Before we get into this, I would love it if you like, shared, and subscribed. I got this. I can do this. I can absolutely do this. So there is literally nothing positive I could say about this. No, there is something positive. Tatiana Maslany, she's attractive. She's really cute. I think she's a beautiful woman. She glows. That's all I could say about this episode. So once again, a meandering plot line where characters do things that don't have anything to do with future plots, don't make a lick of sense. They're trying to be feminist, but they end up being more sexist than I've ever seen in my life. They just decide to make choices that are so insane. This style of comedy is so hard to take seriously because I'm not sure who it's directed at. It makes me wonder if a man might have been able to pull off the slapstick comedy, because at the end of the day, all they end up doing with the really stupid childish comedy is assassinating the character that is She-Hulk. I can't take her seriously. I don't want to see her in an Avengers movie. It's so stupid. And I got to say, the height of it culminated in this moment. This moment where she is at that strange self-help group done by the Abomination, which I'm not sure is comics accurate. That certainly isn't the Abomination, I know. And he's there with these like C-level, D-level like heroes or villains. I'm not sure who any of these guys are. Maybe I've heard of Manbull. Maybe. I think there's several Minotaur-like creatures in the MCU. But she's there, and the guy who is the Wrecker, which is so strange because the Wrecker is one of the few guys in the Wrecking Crew who wears a mask. For some reason, he didn't, and he comes in, and she decides to bring him to justice. She's a superhero. Superheroes bring bad guys to justice. And when she starts kicking his ass, they talk her out of it. And instead of having enough agency to say, no, I'm going to do this, this man assaulted a woman, even though the woman's her. She's like, they assaulted a woman with his 4 buddies in the middle of the night with weapons. That's a dangerous psychopath. There's no way you apologize for that. She allows this to be talked out of doing this. She sits down. She shares intimate feelings with not only these weirdos, but with a man who should be arrested. And so I don't think the show isn't even taking violence against women seriously. So how am I? If you're trying to talk to incels and make a communication with incels, I think it shows a bad image. It's a bad messaging. It's lost completely. Now, obviously, you don't have to tell me these guys were evil and that he was evil. And at the end of the day, it's clear that he is still working for these evil forces. At the end of the day, I completely lost any hope for this series because I just felt like I wasted my time. I got nothing out of it. And honestly, it didn't take a genius to know the man she slept with and wasn't calling her back was up to no good. Now, if he got the blood, which his emoji suggests at the very end of the episode, because he has emoji blood vial, emoji green chemical, emoji smiley face, then that would indicate that he did. I wish they had showed us that scene of him using the radioactive vibranium syringe to take the blood. And the question is, why didn't she know that she was being pricked in the middle of the night? If she was, it's just, oh wow, they copied her cell phone. What are they going to do? They're going to steal her credit card information? It doesn't seem very lethal of a villain. We're 7 episodes in, and the most dastardly thing they've ever done is they punched her once, and then they also stole her credit card information off of her cell phone. This is some low stakes stuff. It is really hard to care. I'm usually trying to make these things at least 10 minutes of review, but there's really nothing to analyze. Now, I could waste your time trying to tell you the history of Manbull, the history of the Matador guy with the bioelectric sword, the Porcupine, or any of them, but it's just... There's really no point to this. I'm thinking for the rest of this review, I'm going to cut to the chase. Absolute F. Horrible episode. I hate you, Marvel. I hate She-Hulk. You made me hate She-Hulk. I used to love She-Hulk, and now this is becoming like a Hawkeye situation. I hate MCU Hawkeye. I hate MCU Wrecking Crew. Now I hate MCU She-Hulk. So thank you very much, Kevin Feige, for not doing your job. Here's a rant we can waste time on. Kevin Feige is run too thin. He has too many things going on, so he's not paying attention, particularly to the Disney Plus shows, and they're only serving to hurt it. They've had very few amazing D Plus shows. Most of their D Plus shows are a negative onto the MCU. It's making me feel very negative about the whole thing. And Kevin Feige, if you were just doing your job, if you were just visiting set or something, but I gotta say, this is supposed to be a sitcom, and I was always fine with She-Hulk being a sitcom. She-Hulk is based in comedy. All of her series have been, except maybe the Savage She-Hulk, which they didn't really know who she was then. You know, they were trying to feel the character out. It's like the first season of a show. But ultimately, this is not a very well-written sitcom. And so there are sitcoms that are doing good. Now, for instance, Abbott Elementary, I don't think it's genius, but it makes me laugh. I'll tune into it. We've got anything from, one of my favorites, How I Met Your Mother, to things like Seinfeld, to things like, whatever's on. There's plenty of ways to make a sitcom, but I will say the way they chose to is not one of them. This has been a failure in every stretch of the imagination. I almost don't want to tune in next week, even though I know that's going to be the Daredevil one. Or is it going to be the Daredevil one? They even took away our end credit scenes, and I like the end credit scenes. Even for the episodes I didn't like, I was like, at least there's an end credit scene, but they're not even competent enough to do that. What is the point of this show? Feminists don't even defend it online when they did in the early episodes. Being a show that's high budget but has no fans and just seems to alienate people, what is the point? Personally, as a comic book fan and a She-Hulk fan and defender, I am upset where I can't defend you. I can only watch the massacre of wasting my time and energy and ultimately whittling down the faith in the MCU. I love you guys. What do you guys think of this series? Please let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And remember to take a big old deuce on She-Hulk whenever you see her mentioned on social media so that we can vote. We can't vote with our dollars because we already pay for Disney Plus. Vote with your discontent. Talk smack about it. This is what I urge you to do. On Twitter, wherever it is, go for it. Let the world know the garbage they've produced. Now that my day is ruined, I'm going to go throw darts at a picture of Kevin Feige. Until next time, ciao.